The first reason I think YouTube guru advice may be killing your channel is confusion. There's all these voices with so many different promises. Promises that sometimes are just false. Promises of great results, strong growth, huge views. And there's always this constant chase to make the next great growth creating adjustment that will really change your entire channel. It's a matter of select this button, don't select this button, do these 4 things, do these 9 things, turn this button on, turn this button off, upload, don't upload, watch your own videos, don't watch your own videos. It can be maddening because it's a giant circle of advice. And in my opinion, a lot of it is just garbage. You've seen the thumbnails just like I have. If your views are here, do these 5 things, 7 things, or 9 things to really blow up your channel and see great growth and get monetized. Or the other one that says, don't quit. You're only a couple of videos away from just huge success. And still others will say to you very clearly, you need to take my seminar, or you need to sign up for my private coaching in order to be a success. There's advice about too much headroom over your shot when you're videotaping, how you sit, how you speak. Do you have notes or no notes? It is a constant level of confusion. Let me add just a little bit of information. I'm Sid Mickle, and this is Sid Mickle Consulting. I am no guru. I'm probably the anti-guru on YouTube. I have a small channel, and I am struggling for views like a lot of us are. I'm not selling seminars. I'm not selling coaching. And no, I am not looking for any consulting clients. I've retired from that world. What I'm trying to do is use my 40 years of business success to give advice, to help people learn some things, maybe about YouTube, maybe about their running a small business, or maybe even employee relations. And I'm also a writer. I've written 8 books. You can see those books up here and some others over here. Now, let me ask you a question about your guru experience. If you're someone who has paid for a seminar or someone who's paid for private coaching, if you would, just please throw a comment down and tell me what you thought about it. Was it worth the money? Did you think it was successful, or was it a waste of your time and your money? Now let's look at the second issue I have with YouTube guru advice. There are often really tall tales of huge success. They're plaques, they're gold keys. I think the awards are mostly props. I think a lot of them were earned back in the early years of YouTube when it wasn't very competitive. And I think that success was very attainable for the men and women who put the hours in and stayed consistent with YouTube back in the early days. But it's not 2018 or 2019 anymore. YouTube is ultra competitive. The third YouTube guru issue I have. When you watch a number of the well-known YouTube gurus, if you'll just sit back and just focus on it, you'll hear an awful lot of the same rhetoric. It's basically the same story, the same advice, just repackaged, realigned, reformatted. It's the same stuff over and over. It's a word salad of expert speak that really means nothing. No matter if it's the catchy accent or the glitzy setup with perfect charts, perfect text, all the right balance in everything they do on screen, doesn't really matter. Maybe it's someone with crazy glasses or theatrically colored hair. Maybe it's someone who just speaks very bluntly and harshly. Those YouTube gurus exist, and they're out there to make you think that they can bring you success, because the bottom line is profitability. And there's nothing wrong with being a YouTube entrepreneur. There's nothing wrong with trying to make money with your advice. I think that's perfectly fine. But the way to keep people like you and me, typically, those of us who are small, struggling creators, hooked, is to constantly talk about our struggles, talk about things that offer us some sort of hope, maybe a shortcut to success, because typically we are desperate. We want to grasp anything that will help us break through and bring a lot more views and bring a lot more watch hours, all those things that we need to our channel. When we talk about gurus, who comes to your mind? I think about a guy who walks along this lake with a highway at the bottom of a hill. And it's a never-ending selfie. I guess he has a selfie stick and he walks and he talks, and it's just words and more words and more words. And I find it to be really nothing. It's the same stuff rehashed, repackaged, restated over and over. There's a lady out there who pours out real emotion about her life struggle and how YouTube helped her and changed her life. And I think that's wonderful. I think it's very strong and very brave of this lady to do that. But make no mistake, at the end of every video, it is about coaching, seminars, and profitability. Just realize those things as you're looking at this advice, because someone else having success doesn't naturally mean you can have success. There are thousands of variables that go into that. The other thing that really pleases me about YouTube is this. There are several old guys who are on YouTube, and they just basically sit there and talk about all sorts of things. They're retired typically, and they talk about life and work and what they're finding. And they also kind of downplay and are surprised by their own YouTube success. To me, that's the real good part of YouTube. That's the thing that I get a little bit of a kick out when I see those guys being successful on YouTube. I don't really understand it. It's like the video I talked about in last week's video of the train cars being moved. 357,000 views of old rusting train cars being dragged along by an old rusting train locomotive. I don't get it. I didn't get it then, and I don't get it now. Now, another YouTuber that comes to my mind, there's two that come to my mind that are very positive to me. And the first is Virginia Carr. I think I'm pronouncing her name right, Virginia Carr. This lady is an experienced, I think, newscaster. Her advice is, to me, real world. She goes out and visits with clients. She takes thumbnails and tears them apart and rebuilds them for people. She is a hands-on person, and I find her personality and her way of teaching or giving advice to be very balanced and very well-meaning, and I think good. Another one that I like is a guy named Dave Jeltma. I think he just went full-time on YouTube. And he talks about real experiences. He talks about struggles, and he gives examples of how this video and that video were terrible and didn't do well, and then other things were successful. But always, Dave's very clear. It is truly about supporters. It is about seminars. It is about coaching, and it's about sponsors. I like the way he just lays that out there. It's no problem with me when you have that honesty. If you would, throw out your favorites in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think about your favorite YouTube guru and who they are. And the final thing I want to talk to you today about is, what's the answer? What is my answer to these issues with YouTube gurus? Well, I'm a businessman, as I said, with 40 years of experience. So I look at all these things like a YouTube small channel struggle from a businessman standpoint. And I just lay it out and do an analysis. No, I don't get deep in the data. I don't try to overthink it. I try to look at it clearly and just lay out the things that are clear. There are multiple variables to YouTube and YouTube success. Yes, they're technical things. Your camera, your sound, your lighting, your subject, your niche. How do you present it? What is your script like? Can you deliver on that script and make it a real person speaking? And I guess mostly the biggest thing is is your content offering helpful advice? Is it offering help to someone? Is there a real benefit to what you're saying? That's the way I look at it. Then I look at the other side of that and I say, there are no shortcuts. There is no YouTube guru who's going to give me the magic answer to making my YouTube channel successful. It just doesn't work that way. And I can tell you that if I spend a lot of time listening, watching, I have them on my phone and I'll open up my laptop and I'll go to my channel and I'll start checking all these things. At the end of an hour, I go, what did I just do? A couple of videos later, I realized none of the things I did helped. I think it's all about the video content. It's all about how you present what you think. And really, the ultimate answer to this whole point today is your expectations. Now, some people think about getting monetized from a need basis. They need this to be a side hustle that pays off or a full-time job that pays off. I'm not in that category. I would absolutely like to be successful, monetized, and making a little bit of coin off of YouTube. Hey, it's a free service that I can go onto and create my own thoughts and potentially get paid for it. That's a good deal. That's a pretty sweet deal. But you have to be very careful. One of the hard lessons I learned was when I started, I promoted lots of videos, lots of promotions. I didn't know any better. All I knew was, seemed pretty cheap, I could afford it, and I'm going to do it. What I did was I created 1,580 basically dead subs. Now, maybe there's 100 or 150 or 200 that aren't dead subs, but it really hurts your YouTube channel because when the algorithm sends out your video, those people who just signed on because they were buddying up or they were in the promotion, they're not going to watch. CTR is going to be terrible. Your view length is going to be terrible. And the algorithm is going to say, nobody wants to watch this guy's video. Boom, you're done. The first test failed and you're out. That's the reality. And look, the YouTube algorithm does not hate you. It doesn't hate me. It doesn't know you and it doesn't know me. It's a math formula. If your content does well, it will push it further. If it does really well, it will push it much further. And I think that's what we're all trying to get to, that video content style or subject or delivery that finds real success within the algorithm rules and within the YouTube universe. That's what we're trying to find. Another thing that's very important is expectations. So as we do this analysis and we think about the people who are doing YouTube, why they're doing it, and what they're going through. Many people are very, very frustrated. I will tell you, I get frustrated. I work on a video for several hours. I try to do a great thumbnail. I try to come up with a really good title. And then I work on the description, it seems like forever, because I think the description is important. I've been told that, typically by a guru. I don't know how much all that is true because I don't think it weighs as much as your content. I think if we all manage our frustrations by managing our expectations, we'll be happier and more than likely we'll be healthier. I would say if the YouTube process is stressing you out and making you a little crazy, it may be time to step back. Not quit, not step away totally, but maybe step back. Let a couple of weeks go by and think about what you're doing. Think about your niche, think about your delivery. Think about the whole process. And that's the key. It's the simple stuff. While you're doing that work, you've got to manage your expectations. You can't be crushed. I think a lot of YouTube guru advice sets people up to feel crushed by their lack of results or their very slow results. So even though I'm not a YouTube guru, let me give you some just real world businessman advice. Manage your own expectations. Do the YouTube thing first and foremost because you enjoy it. because you think you've got something important to say. Go out there and say it and let it build. If it's 10 views, be happy with the 10 if you can. If it's 100, be very happy. If it's 10,000, celebrate. That's the process. That's what it's about. But like writing, I love all those books. If they don't sell, I still feel a sense of success, a sense of real value about what I've done with them. It's the same thing with this YouTube channel, Sid Mickle Consulting. I'm saying things that I think have some value, and I enjoy doing it. Now, would I like for it to be much more successful? Damn right, no doubt. But I am not going to be crushed, and I am not going to be angry, and I am not going to say the algorithm hates me. And in closing today, I hope you all will just manage those expectations, continue to do good work, try your best, and try to help people with what you have to say. I think that's the right formula. So until we get together in about a week, I hope everyone has a great weekend. Be safe. Share some time with your family. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.